The Whispering Well, Part 2. The echoes beneath Clara spent the rest of the night huddled in her cottage. The rhythmic thump 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 from the direction of the well echoing in her ears, a terrifying counterpoint to the incessant whispers that now seemed to emanate from the very walls of her rented room. Sleep was impossible. Every creak of the old house, every rustle of the wind outside, sent jolts of pure terror through her. By dawn, her skepticism had shattered, replaced by a chilling certainty. The well was not merely a source of local folklore. It was a living, malevolent entity, a prison for something unspeakable, not just stuck, but as if something heavy was pressed against it from the outside. Panic flared. She tried the windows, but they too were inexplicably sealed. Her warnings had been real. She was the only one who might understand. Clara found a loose floorboard in the kitchen, revealing a small, dusty crawlspace. With a surge of adrenaline, she squeezed through, emerging into the damp earth beneath the cottage. Elara finally said, her voice dropping to a low, grave tone. An ancient evil, trapped beneath the well by our ancestors. It feeds on despair, on fear, on the lost. It marked you. It wants to break free, and it needs a strong vessel, a fresh spirit, to do so. The thumping intensified, now accompanied by the sound of cracking stone. Elara explained that the villagers had maintained a ritual for centuries, offering small, symbolic sacrifices to keep the Devourer dormant. But the younger generations had forgotten, dismissed it as superstition. The well's power was growing. It lures them with promises, then consumes them. The whispers are its leer, the thumping, ... Its hunger. It was a tight, claustrophobic space, but it offered a chance. The stone structure was visibly cracking, dark, viscous, liquid, oozing from new fit. The whispers surged, not just around her, but inside her head. She held onto it, visualizing it, offering it with all her might. She saw flashes of her past, moments of failure, lost loved ones, deepest insecurities. The green light pulsed violently, then began to recede. The Devourer was trying to overwhelm her, to break her will. The whispers were a deafening cacophony, punctuated by the monstrous thumping. From the depths, a faint, sickly green light began to pulse. The hum she had felt on her first night was now a palpable vibration, a low thrumming that seemed to resonate through the floorboards, and it knew she had seen it. The thought sent shivers down her spine, colder than any draft. She had to leave Oakhaven, but as she tried to open the cottage door, she found it jammed. The whispers intensified, no longer distant, but right outside her window, calling her name, Clara, ... She explained that the ancestors had created a binding ritual, a way to reinforce the seal on the well, but it required a sacrifice, not of life, but of a memory. A powerful, cherished memory, offered willingly to the Devourer to sat its hunger temporarily and reinforce its prison. Desperate, she remembered the old woman from the village. It will show you your deepest fears, your greatest regrets. You must resist, focus on the memory, offer it, and then we must chant the words of binding. Clara stumbled to a door, pounding frantically. Elara opened it, her ancient eyes, surprisingly sharp, immediately fixed on Clara's disheveled appearance. She crawled through the darkness, guided by the faint light filtering from cracks in the foundation. The thumping from the well seemed to grow louder, more urgent. After what felt like an eternity, she emerged behind a cluster of overgrown bushes, just outside the village. The old woman, Elara, lived in a small, ramshackle cottage on the outskirts. You went to the well, didn't you, child? Elara's voice was raspy, devoid of surprise. Clara nodded, tears streaming down her face as she recounted the horrifying events. Elara listened patiently, her gaze unwavering. It is the Devourer of Whispers, but why did it come for me? Clara whispered, trembling. Because you saw it, you heard its true voice. As they spoke, a guttural roar echoed from the direction of the well, shaking the very ground. It's breaking free, Elara cried, her eyes wide with fear. We must seal it. Now, Elara led Clara to a hidden cellar beneath her cottage, filled with ancient scrolls, strange herbs, and a collection of rusted, arcane tools. It will try to take your mind, child, Elara warned. They returned to the well, the air thick with dread. Quickly, Elara urged. Clara knelt before the well, forcing herself to look into the pulsing green light. She fought back, focusing on her most cherished memory, a sun-drenched afternoon, laughing with her grandmother in a field of wildflowers. The whispers screamed in protest, a sound of pure agony. The green light pulsed violently, then began to recede. Now, the chant, Elara cried, beginning to intone ancient words in a low, rhythmic voice. Clara, though terrified, joined her, repeating the foreign syllables. As they chanted, the cracks in the well began to seal, slowly at first, then with increasing speed. The viscous liquid receded, the green light faded, the monstrous thumping grew weaker, then stopped. The whispers, however, did not cease entirely. They merely receded, becoming a faint, mournful murmur, a constant presence in the background. When the last crack sealed, and the well stood silent once more, Clara collapsed, exhausted. Elara helped her up, her face grim. "It is done, for now," Elara said. "But it will awaken again. It always does. And you, child, are now bound to Oakhaven. It will never truly let you go." She felt a profound emptiness where her cherished memory once was, a void that ached. She knew she could never leave Oakhaven. The well had taken something from her, yes, but it had also left something behind. A chilling awareness, a constant whisper in the back of her mind. A reminder that the Devourer of Whispers was merely dormant, waiting for its next awakening. Clara returned to her cottage, this silence now more unsettling than the noise. And sometimes, late at night, she could almost hear her own voice, faint and sorrowful, echoing from the depths of the well, joining the chorus of the lost.